So moving on, uh, there are reasons why the need of a country was to proliferate more of a manufacturing, be self-reliant. In that process, they allowed a lot of manufacturing to start in our country. Consumers always remained at the receiving end. Consumers were also looking for new product, convenience product available to him, product satisfying their various needs, etc. So they also will, demanding whatever used to come, they used to absorb it, etc. All that lead to certain malpractices being coming in. So manufacturers got into unwarranted things, which has been listed out here. Now, to prevent such kind of a thing, what was needed was a strong legislative support. Beyond legislative support, also the self movement that was focus of overall handling of the problem. So that's where the consumer protection as a subject comes into picture. So legislation side, it's a various laws which prevents or rather which protects the customer from being exploited. Okay, it allows the fair trade practices to be worked upon on the with the customer by every manufacturer. In between the competition, unwarranted cartel or unwarranted association to be formed, etc. And correct information based decision making among the customers should be promoted, etc. So those kind of various legislative supports have come in. They are designed to prevent business from doing a fraud on the customers or putting unfair means practices for gaining the customer acceptance, etc. They are the government regulations, so they have a power of law protecting the rights of the consumer. So people flouting these norms can be penalized. So consumer protection, of course, is an idea which comes from the rights of the customer. So there are rights that should be made available to the customers, things like a better choice, choice of a place to purchase, etc., place to complain. So these are some of the rights that they wanted customers to have, and this law actually provides and also prevents, protects against various malpractices and frauds, etc. Consumer interest has to be firmly protected by anything which is adversely trying to exploit their weaker position, okay, by being individual in the society. So whenever consumer purchase, collective force is not going to come to support him. He has to independently, individually fight against any malpractice that he faces. So this and various other reasons. So to give you an understanding how legislation is powerfully supporting the consumer, so there are various level that has been created. Starts with the Central Consumer Protection Council, which is an apex body, followed by State Consumer Protection Council, State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, where the disputes are handled, National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission. So if something doesn't get handled well at state level, customer has a right to go to national level. And last but not the least, Consumer Guidance Society of India. It's an independent body which is working towards guiding and building customer awareness. So moving on, why do you need a consumer's protection? So country which, as I earlier also told you, was embarking on a self-sufficiency. So a lot of manufacturing incentives were given. They invited a lot of entrepreneurs to come in and set up their manufacturing, etc. out here. However, due to lack of quality standards and various other things, so substandard goods started getting produced. Weight and measurements also was a subject matter of a cheating or fraud, spurious, hazardous drugs, etc. Pricing, manipulation. So creating shortages and the black marketing, whatnot. You can expect any form of fraud on the consumers was happening all around. And therefore, at some time, people felt it's the high time that consumer interest should be protected. So protected in which way? So guarantee a safety and quality of the product. So first and foremost, consumers should get safety, and the quality should be assured of the product that he is getting. Inexperienced consumer are more vulnerable to being sold poor quality. So this should be stopped, and any such illegitimate sale which do not even contribute anything towards the solution that has been offered, especially in the drugs and all, it used to happen, pharma. Consumer needs to be protected from cons, and those who are creating a fraud on them, misleading advertising which represents facts differently, poor services, unsafe goods, so harmful plastic, toy, etc. So those are those unsafe goods. Illiterate and poor customers in India have no power at that point of time to protect their interest. Even today, overall, he feels very handicapped, but yeah, there is a bandwidth which has been created. So this and various other reasons in the service industry, again, it was very open to wild, guesses from different sides. Person feels that this is what he was supposed to deliver, but he gets a different delivery, kind of. So a country where religious faith is mixed and uh, exploited by individuals taking the gullible consumers to an advantage. There also the awareness was needed to protect the interests of the consumers. So all around the consumer need protection from this monopolistic and restrictive practices also. Some people occupy a larger share of market. They do not allow others to enter, and thereby they can manipulate supply, demand, etc., the price and all. So this and many such reasons that forced that there was a need for a consumer protection in India. So it started with a movement by the Consumer Guidance Society of India. This was formed first and foremost apex body in the country way back in 1966. It is championing the right of consumers in more than last 50 plus years. So society was founded by women activists at that point of time, and their aim was to protect the right of the consumers who find themselves helpless. So they created a support mechanism by which the guidance can be rendered to make consumer aware and self-determining, self-reliant to defend his need, in terms of not being manipulated, not being fraudulently being sold, or, not getting the right quality goods, etc. So that's where they worked upon. The effort got other organizations moving, and it bore the fruit where first, and they also championed the cause that there should be a legislative support, and that's why Consumer Protection Act was enacted way back in 86. Remember, they are 66, and this Protection Act came in 86, almost 20 years of struggle. Consumer courts were set up post this implementation of a legislation. So they have reached out to lakhs of customers. They are even doing it today. They are conducting regular workshops, seminars to create wide awareness, and enabling consumers to become a smart consumer. So that's their objective. Develop a resource center. So the key objective is to have a resource center at each state level that will network with the National Resource Center. So they are trying to align with the government body, which is whatever that I have listed earlier. Alternate the consumer dispute redressal mechanism. Okay, at the state level, provide a dispute redressal mechanism to the consumer. Resolve maximum dispute out of court. So not to get things out of at a court level, resolve most of them out of court. Promote participation of the companies and service providers. So it's like they don't want to look upon like a third independent who's going to fight tooth and nail. They want a cooperation of companies and the service provider to join in this resolve. So that's what they took, a cooperative approach to this particular cause. So early resolution of the complaints. So we are understanding various objectives. They are striving to provide early resolution of the complaint made to them. Rural consumers have been added into their focus. Capacity building of the state level, voluntary customer organizations. So equip and prepare them, to handle their local issues. Provide service in regional languages in addition to English. India is a country where so many languages are proliferating. So they should be also looked down. So this and such a comprehensive mandate of objective on which CGSI is working. So the working for what role? So they provide a democratic and peaceful means to fight unfair practice to which the consumer may be subjected to. Provide and facilitate accurate and relevant information. So right relevant information that enables the consumer and makes him aware should be provided. They are working to that. Regularly test the quality of the products offered to consumers. So in their own laboratory, they do the random testing and they come out with their report, which is at times far enlightening and shocking. Facilitates cooperation with the state level agency. Their reports meant something because it goes to the state level body to act upon, and if this is not acted upon, they take it up with the higher authority. So the state becomes answerable. Cooperation with the state level agency, so they work in tandem with various state level agencies. That's what I told you, their laboratory test results are not merely published, they are shared with the right bodies, and then they are supposed to act upon. If they do not act upon, they are answerable. Otherwise this body can take this cause higher up. ensure compliance of the protection laws, ensure consumers about their rights. They are being made available, aware of. Mass media has been used to educate consumers, guide individual through publications and various newsletters and online content. So that through awareness they are trying to create fair ground for the consumers. So let's understand what are the rights of the consumers. So what stands as the rights of the consumer? So these are quite a few, so to say. Right to safety means consumers should be guaranteed the safeguarding against hazardous goods endangering the life and the property. So goods purchased by the consumer should meet those standards which not only protects his life from hazard to his life or to his properties. That's the right to safety. Right to information means customers should get right information regarding the quality, the quantity, the price, etc., the calorie values, and content also. Instead of scientific name, probably they encourage them to write the relevant common man's language, etc. So these are those right to information. Right to choice means that the customer should be provided a wide variety of goods to choose from. So preventing the monopoly, so to say. So customer should be offered wider choice so that he has a right, and if he is not satisfied, he can go to somebody else. And that's how the others will get the lessons learned. Right to be heard. If he is in a disputed state, means that he should be heard. His complaint should reach to the right person. So therefore, you see that the complaint redressal forum at a corporate level, that company level also is first starting point. If that do not attend, then comes the consumer guidance society, etc. So they come into picture. Right to redress means that the consumers have the right to seek the redressal regarding their complaints in the forum. So they can approach them, seek the redressal. So this forum will invite the parties and then get into the discussion. Right to education is they want to make customers self-aware. So through the education, through making awareness. So therefore they conduct seminars, webinars, as the case may be. So these are the rights that they have offered, or rather not they, it's the right of the consumers that Indian penal system, Indian legal system is trying to provide to the customers.